Oh yeah, I thought of something else I had wanted to talk about. So this is what got me thinking about it was like I had seen, they're really promoting this movie with Renee Zellweger right now, right? Where she looks really homely, she doesn't look like herself because she's trying to look like somebody else. And so I was thinking, it's so weird. Is like, why do these actresses, they're thought of, oh, they're so beautiful. Why are they going in and trying to play these people who are, doesn't look like that, or more homely or, not as attractive or something. Oh, which by the way, I want to say this real quick. I had seen a girl on TikTok and she was really, really big and she wasn't attractive, I mean, a lot of people would, say she wasn't attractive. And I guess I don't know, she had a baby or something with this guy. And then he said something to her, like, why don't you lose weight or something like that? I think he said it kind of like mean or something, like put her down. But she went and she lost weight. She became super hot. Oh my gosh. Like, there's so many people who don't know the beauty queen that lives inside. They've masked her. And they don't even know their own beauty that's living inside of them. And hopefully that girl didn't go back to that guy. Hopefully she didn't do it for him. Hopefully she did it for herself. And then, she saw like, hey, I've raised my standards now, dude. I'm doing good for you. Because she was really, really hot. Not that a hot person has, they should be able to get better people. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that, somebody shouldn't be telling her what she needs to do with herself. Like I'm sure this guy shouldn't be the one throwing stones, that is rude to tell somebody something like that. And that's what she needs to recognize. That's the upgrade. Like, I'm not going to be with somebody who belittles me, who couldn't love me for who I was. Why are you with me? Why are you having kids with me if you couldn't even love me on that level? That's where you need to, set the bar a little higher, and you're feeling good about yourself and you're seeing the beauty queen inside, go out and, it is more about developing yourself more, like I said, that you will begin to find people who are like-minded and, you will find your crowd, but it's in the development of self that you do. But anyways, I thought that was really cool. I just really hope she didn't go back to him. But, I'm not saying like this lady's homely, there's no hope or something, because I think everybody has, a beauty queen living inside of them. They just haven't found them. And so this Pam movie or whatever I think it's called, and I was thinking like, what motivates somebody to be like, oh, I'm going to go show I can look ugly too. Like what? Because, there's a lot of them who have done it. Sandra Bullock, Charlize Theron, they don't, when you're picking character actors, you usually pick, characters to be these different parts. So when you have the main person being a character, why wouldn't you pick a character actor, to play that part? It just seems weird. Like, why are you going to go big box office? Like, let's get who's the most expensive. Let's pay her to play this part. And then, like, why do they want to go in and play it? Why do they want to gain a bunch of weight? And, I think they usually just wear wigs, but some of them have shaved all their hair off. They've done all sorts of things for these parts. And you just think like, why? Why do they do it? What is the motivator? Like, it's very confusing. And I was talking to my friend about that. I was like, don't you think that's kind of weird? And she's like, yeah, I was just thinking about that. The same thing. Like, why? Like, it's so weird. Why do they feel like they need to go in and pretend to be somebody else? And what even gets weirder is, why do we give them awards for doing it? Like, why do we think, oh, that's great. You're playing all different people. You don't know how to play yourself. You're not putting yourself out there into the world. You're just putting all these characters out there into the world. But that's so excellent. We're going to give you awards and lots of money. And idolize you and stuff like that. And it's so shallow. And when you think about it, it's part of this whole way of misleading us, to get us to admire people who are playing other characters that aren't playing themselves, which, I mean, all of the stories they tell are our own stories, for a soul's journey. The stories they tell are different experiences of different souls' journeys. So they're already, taking our stories, and I know a lot of stories come to writers and stuff. I know writers, make stories and, they want to see their stories play out and, visually see their story come to life. And, and there's lots of stories, and some are telling their own stories, and some are telling stories that come to them and stuff. I'm not saying that there should be no stories, but it should be that we understand what the stories are. We should be able to see, and understand things on a different level, I think. And but that we admire people who don't play themselves, and the weird thing is too, is I think so many of them get themselves in a trap then of not being able to play themselves. They're always busy playing somebody else, and people like them for their characters or, who they pretend to be. And then, they get lost inside of themselves. And even in that show on Dying Up Here, I thought that they showed that really well with one of the guys. He got a character role, and the character wasn't in alignment with exactly him. It wasn't him, it was a character. And his character became really liked, but he was missing in the scenario. So if they like this character but nobody likes me, especially, they made such a good point, because he'd go up and do stand-up and they'd all just sit there stone-faced, but as soon as he went into that character, they'd all get excited. So how would that feel if you were that person? You can't go out and show yourself. You got to show this character. You got to build this character up. You got to create this other being that isn't really you, because you got to please your audience. You got to please your fan base. You got to make sure that you don't irritate them, because then you're going to lose the people who make you feel good about yourself, because they are the ones who are feeding your ego. They're the ones who are telling you that you're a good person. And, and that's got to mess with your head, because, all these people telling you you're a great person and they love you and admire you, but they don't know you. And then, you start doing some, you do some stuff like every human being, stupid ass shit. And then that will mess with your head. Like, these people love me. I think that's where a lot of these people just go off the deep end, because of all of that stuff, messing with the battle between the head and the heart. And also, this world is meant to mislead us like that. They want us to, they don't want us to align and heal. They don't want us to be feeling good and taken care of, And so it makes sense that they would promote this industry to mislead us. And this industry is all based on people that are, I don't want to say like damaged goods, but they're definitely people like everybody who had, traumas and, they're looking for something, and you wouldn't be going to Hollywood if you didn't want people to admire you and love you, and you're seeking fame and fortune, because mostly you need to feel that from somebody, because you don't feel it from yourself. So, this whole industry is based on a lot of people who didn't know how to love themselves. They go into a very deceitful, it's a very parasitic kind of community. Whatever is the new and up and coming, they suckle off of it, and that develops all of these criminal kind of managers and promoters and all of the bullshit, because it's a place that evil can grow, because it gives them a space to do it. And you have all of these people with their insecurities, and a lot of beautiful people with insecurities out there trying to make it and getting, used and abused. And I mean, what they do to the kids even, I mean, the beast has no morals. It doesn't have any, like, oh, we won't hurt them because, they're under 5. No, they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit about any of that. And just the whole way that, promote these award shows and magazines and everything to lift this lifestyle of phoniness. It's all fake. And we're supposed to all be like, oh, we want to be like them, when they have their own personal struggles on top of whatever is being shown to us, but they can't show us. They can't show themselves. They can't reveal themselves because they've created, walls around themselves by drawing in an audience that has an expectation. And so it is, each of them, they've got their own journeys to worry about. They've got to figure out how to break free and be able to show themselves and be authentic so they can feel peaceful inside themselves and be true to themselves. And even these ones that come back out, the SJWs or whatever, the ones who are hardcore trying to tell us how to look at things, they are paid spokespeople. How many of them are even saying what's real inside their heart? How many of them have even lost focus of what's real inside their heart? They're just, they're puppets. They're paid spokespeople for the cabal to mislead us and, show us a direction that is going to send us down a dark path. And it's so much coming to the surface, and it's so clear, like when you start really paying attention to the whole thing, and like, for how long, everybody, oh, I want to be a movie star. Oh, I want to be rich and famous. Oh, I want to give out autographs or whatever, different people, because you have so many people who are out seeking fame, like as a thing, as a destination. And when they do is that the thing to be seeking, is fame? Because, people are willing to humiliate themselves right now to try and get famous, but they've sold this idea of what fame is. But, if you really were friends with a famous person or something and you saw their real self, they're just a human being with problems. They didn't, all their problems didn't go away because they became famous. And all of a sudden, oh, life is easy. Yeah, they may have more money, but that is a whole thing in itself. About money and abundance. You got more money, you got more people coming after it too. Like, it opens up a whole new door of problems. It's not like your problems go away. No matter what place you are, anywhere in life, it's about, healing yourself. Because it doesn't matter if you, like, I've seen people who are so poor, but they're happy. It doesn't matter about what you have. It matters about what's inside. And all of the different things that you deal with and all of the different problems that come in are to help you become in alignment with who you are, so you can recognize who you are, so you can understand yourself. But there's so many people who can't expose themselves, be true to themselves. And, maybe they are to their friends, but when you have like a huge fan base and that's your bread and butter, you keep this part of yourself hidden. And, how freeing it would be to just be like, hey, I'll tell you what's important is the freedom of my self-expression to show who I am. Whether you accept me or you don't accept me, this is who I am. And, it doesn't matter who does and doesn't accept you, as long as you accept yourself. And, I think that's going to be a part of this whole refocusing of us as people, is to stop revering people who pretend to be someone different. You know, what we want is authenticity. What we want is vulnerability. What we want is true connection, you know? So it's this, you know, it's a part of all the stuff that I keep talking about. It's just to notice these things. So when they come to the surface, to be like, yeah, I mean, why are we sitting here, you know, focused on people who aren't even being themselves? We need to focus on ourselves and become who we are. I mean, you don't know, just because someone can go in and pretend like there's someone else, that doesn't make them a good person. It makes them a confused person. They lose track of their own identity, you know? And then here we are worshiping them. It makes no sense. So anyways, I wanted to share that because, you know, her and I were having these same thoughts at the same time. And I think there probably is a lot of people, because when that energy comes in, it is, you know, if you're in that vibration, you're going to pick up on that energy and you're going to see things differently. That was one thing in my awakening early on. What they showed me is being out in a field, you know, just out in the middle of a field. And no matter where you look, every single direction, every single place is a different perspective. You know, and I think people who do art really understand that on, you know, a certain level, but it really truly is that many perspectives in life. I mean, it's every single way you look. That's the multifaceted expression of a soul. So that's the whole purpose behind incarnating. It's the whole purpose behind a soul journey, because there's so much different perspective. So you want to understand life in all perspectives. So anyways, it's just something else to think about. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.